Hi, this is Sabre for SMR Vault, ready to bring you updates for Week 5 of the 2017 build season. Week 5 is always one of the most exciting weeks in the season because it's the point where teams start integrating the mechanisms they've been developing for weeks into their final robots. Blount County Robotics is in the same boat, and their robot has undergone a pretty dramatic transformation this week. They started with a fairly bare chassis, with their shooting system being developed off the bot. It wasn't until Friday that they were able to test it, a delay they attribute to the fact that they're trying to develop two robots at the same time, but as you can see, the results of their efforts have certainly paid off. The biggest dilemma they ran into was the use of acrylic for the outer wall of their shooter. It's a pretty inflexible material, and when it broke, BCR switched to the more flexible polypropylene, and it's proved to be much more effective. The shooter itself is now fully functioning, and as far as integration into the robot goes, it'll stand vertically in the rear left corner with the motor used to power it being attached to nothing else, so as to ensure consistency in their shooting trajectory. Their ball intake is close behind in development, and after making some changes with belt alignment, we're seeing a pretty finalized mechanism. The largest concern at the intake involves power. BCR is in the process of brainstorming when the intake will be engaged, with the biggest dilemma being that if the intake can ideally run constantly throughout the whole match, the battery will most certainly be drained, potentially before the match is over. The third big mechanism, the rope climber, is also coming together. It only requires a little revising in terms of power delivery and direction, and from there it'll be mounted in the center of the bot. The programming team is happy to have working mechanisms to begin coding, and they feel that their only struggle this week has come as a result of the vision processing system. BCR is pretty pumped to see both robots coming together now, and they feel that they're right on schedule going into Week 6. As for the Secret City Wildbots, the next week will be an experience in rushing to finish everything in time. Team 4265 may have had trouble with organization, but all in all they seem to have had a good week. They've had to troubleshoot every component of the robot, from the intake and shooter mechanisms to the climber, and even the whole structure of the robot. But the Wildbots have had some triumphs with bearing connections and prototyping. However, they don't expect to give up on any ambitions they have with the robot, despite their struggle to keep team members committed to the team. While they may not be ahead of schedule, it seems to me they'll be able to finish in time if they keep up their hard work. Well, that's it for Week 5. We hope all teams have experienced the success that BCR and the Wildbots have had this week, and we wish teams the best of luck going into the final week. Speaking of Week 6, we'd like to see the whole community contribute to the final update, so we highly encourage your team to submit videos by following the steps in the description below. Also, don't forget to give BCR and the Wildbots a big thumbs up to show your support for the community. For SMR Vault, I'm Sabre. It's been nice talking robots with you, and I'll see you next week.